Welcome back again. I am Asia from the Relationship Refinery, and I'm here to help you redefine as well as refine the way that you view healthy relationships. Today I'm talking about, not really talking about DDG and Halle Bailey. I'm not really in their business. This is not a news outlet or like a gossip outlet or anything like that, but people talking about, I've been seeing people all over Twitter talking about, oh, see, babies, they ruin relationships, and why do people have babies and then not even a year later they break up? This is something that I see a lot. I mean, we see it a lot with celebrities. I also see it a lot in like everyday communities, so just like regular average people who are not married and they're dating and they have a baby, and then they break up before the baby turns one. And I'm not saying that if y'all got married, then you wouldn't be the case. Well, it's a lot more difficult for you to break up after a marriage. But anyway, I'm just here to talk about some of the reasons, not necessarily to talk about DDG and Halle, but because this has happened and I see a lot of people talking about it, I want to share some of the reasons. But of course, before we get started, make sure that you subscribe as well as hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time that I post a video. Alright, so first I want to share a tweet that I felt like really hit the nail on the head. Somebody I forgot what the person before had commented on Twitter, but they were pretty much just saying that babies really ruin relationships. And somebody, master_brain with 2 N's, I'll post it here, said babies, in quotes, babies don't ruin relationships, but they do expose the cracks that were already there. And I was like, yes, that is absolutely correct. I don't think people realize how much of a strain that babies can put on a relationship, whether a marriage or a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. People tend to assume that babies are this joyous experience, and it can be, and I feel like it tends to be, but people assume that women are super excited and just super happy and just like their whole world has to now revolve around this baby, and it typically does, but that doesn't mean that it's a beautiful or a fun experience. Like, don't get me wrong, beautiful, yes, but a joyous 24/7. I'm just happy about this baby and I'm excited. I love being a mom. There was a tweet a couple years ago of mothers who were just talking about that they love their child, but how difficult being a mom is. And I love that for them, because I do feel like that women do not tend to not really have an outlet to say that I don't like being a mom. I love my child, but I don't like being a mom, and these are all the reasons. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. So, like I said, this is not me. I'm not a gossip. This is not, the Wendy Williams show or whatever other shows. This is the Relationship Refinery. We're talking about healthy relationships. And so I want to use this situation to address some things. So one, part of the reason why, and I've already made a video and I'll link it there because there's, probably some of the same information I'm sharing, but one of the reasons why babies can ruin a relationship, and once again, it's not really ruining it, but it's shifting the dynamic of the relationship. You're going from two people who are able to spend all the time that they want together, who are able to, talk on the phone all night or stay up all night if they live together, or able to just get up and go if they want to. Responsibilities like work, that's different. You can take PTO, right? To now you're bringing in a third party. That third party cannot contribute anything to the relationship. Okay, so when you are in a healthy relationship, it's a give and take. Y'all are giving to each other, y'all are also taking from each other. Unhealthy relationships, one person is giving, the other person is taking, right? Now with a baby, the baby has nothing to offer you. The baby cannot do anything but smile at you, after a certain period of time. The baby is really just there to, it's just literally sucking things from the parents, being very dependent. Like, you have to change the baby, you have to feed the baby, you have to make sure that the baby is dressed appropriately. Like, if it's too hot, making sure that they got on cool clothes. If it's too cold, you have to your whole world has to shift when it comes to a baby, which can be very, very draining for parents. Once again, you're going from a relationship, assuming that it's healthy, to where y'all are able to communicate with each other. Y'all are able to spend time with each other, uninterrupted time. Y'all are able to just like do a little give and take dance. Now you're adding a third person into it who is not able to give, is just taking. So if you have a person who's given to their spouse, they're giving to their significant other, and this person, they're becoming more drained because they're only receiving from one person, not from both. I hope that makes sense. Additionally, people, we still live in, we're getting better with understanding the roles of parents, of both parents, not just the mother. But we still live in a day and age where a lot of people have the expectation that parenthood is just on the mom. Okay, so that's making the mother even more drained because they're having to get up for the 2 a.m. feedings. They're having to get up in the middle of the night to change diapers. They're having to do this because, you know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not assuming that all men, but I have clients who I have talked, male clients who I have talked to, who have said, well, you know, she's a mom, that's what she's supposed to do. And but they're not understanding why the wife, or well, it's tend to be wives, why the wife has been withdrawing from the husband is because not only is she having to take care of the baby, she's having to take care of her husband as well, and not feeling like she's receiving a lot of help from him. So like I said, 2 a.m. feedings, even if you're breastfeeding, like if you are pumping, if there's breast milk that can be warmed up, you know, maybe the husband can go warm up the breast milk for the baby, get up for the woman. And I hear a lot of men who are like, well, I got to get up and go to work. And I understand that. Anyway, I'll talk about some potential solutions later on. But just helping you to understand that the dynamic of parenthood, for some people, it is still very much so, oh, I expect for my wife to go to work. I expect for her to still cook, clean like she's been doing, and take care of the baby. And once again, this is a relationship where she's not getting any benefit from being the mom. She's solely giving herself to the baby, and the baby's not giving nothing back. Another reason, and please keep in mind, I'm not saying that these are the reasons why Hallie and DDG, I hope that's his name, these are the reasons why they broke up. I have no idea. I don't know them people. I'm just telling you the reasons why some marriages, they tend to, you know, go down, decrease in satisfaction after a baby's born. These are some of the reasons. Additionally, postpartum depression. I'm so glad that we are in a place to where more men and women are understanding that postpartum depression is very real because of all the hormones that, you know, you are experiencing, like the surge of hormones or the decrease in hormones that are happening throughout pregnancy and then after the delivery of a baby. Postpartum, that's why it's called postpartum depression, can lead to feeling of loss, can lead to a feeling of, or just feeling depleted. Like it can just lead to so many other things, to where, you know, some women are not able to take care of themselves because they feel like, I have to take care of this baby. I'm not getting enough sleep, I'm not getting enough nutrients, I just feel like I'm not pretty, I've gained all this weight. You know, for those who do gain weight or who gain a lot of weight after they have a baby, it can just be a lot of emotions. People tend to be supportive the first couple weeks of the baby. Oh, let me see the baby, let me cook for you, let me do this for you. But then eventually that fades off. Eventually she has to go back to work if she's working. Eventually the husband has to go back to work, and like things just sort of go back to normal, but her mind, her hormones and things like that have not returned to normal. And like I said, she may not be able to do the same thing she was able to do, go hang out with her girls, get dressed up and get cute. She may not be able to be as affectionate towards her husband because she's drained. So like, it's just a lot of factors that come into play. And I strongly suggest that if you do not know about postpartum depression, I'm not an expert on it, so I really don't want to speak on something that I'm not super educated on. I mean, as a marriage and family therapist associate, I have some knowledge, but there are some therapists who have worked with, who specialize in that. And so I'm not one of those therapists. I really don't want to speak on something I'm not that I don't specialize in, right? Additionally, the fact that there are a lot of relationships, maybe not a lot, maybe a lot, I don't know, I can't give you statistics, but there are a lot of relationships who are, their foundation is based on sex. We live in a sex-filled world. You can turn on whatever TV show and it's probably gonna be an unnecessary sex scene in it, or a movie, or, you know, songs. Just very, we live in a very sexualized world is the point I'm trying to make. And so so where you can get sex at the, you know, touch of your screen, you can get sex. And so some relationships are built on sex. That's the foundation of it. It started off as sex buddies and ended up in a romantic relationship, or started off romantic, and then, you know, that's the way that the two people have become intimate. That is how they have gotten their love meter filled, is through sex. I'm not condemning sex, although I do believe sex in the context of marriage is the healthiest way. But when you have two people who that is their foundation, after a baby, you have to wait 6 to 8 weeks before you can have sex again. That's not just a recommendation, that is needed for the vagina to heal, for that area to be fully healed, especially if you had stitches and things like that. This is not just her holding out on you, fellas. This is actually something that is medically necessary. And if that was the only way that y'all were receiving intimacy, that was the only way that y'all were connecting, then when you take that away for 6 to 8 weeks, can you imagine how the relationship is going to change? Can you imagine how, if all the attention was on one spouse, and then now the baby comes into the picture, and now all the attention is on the baby, can you imagine how the dynamic of that intimate connection is going to change? So, you know, these are some of the ways that those relationships can change drastically, because you're tired, because you're not able to connect like you used to, because you're being drained. Like it can just be a lot. And so some of the ways that I strongly suggest that people can combat it. So I'm more of a proactive person than a reactive. Like, I understand if you're already in the situation, then you have to be reactive. But if you're not in that situation, it's important for you to be proactive. Some of the ways that you can be proactive is just by having a conversation. Talk about what are your expectations in the relationship when it comes to parenting. Who is going to get up for the 2 a.m. feedings? Is it always going to be the mom, even if she is breastfeeding? Is it, you know, who's going to go change diapers? Like, what do you feel like the dynamic should be? Don't assume. You would be surprised how many men have the expectation that 90% of it is on the woman. You know, don't assume that it's going to be an egalitarian type of relationship, even if everything else, cooking, cleaning, household chores, have been equal amongst the two of you. So have that conversation to just figure out, like, where do y'all stand when it comes to parenting. If y'all can, try babysitting somebody else's kids. Yeah, you may figure out quickly, you know, if the two of y'all can actually, I mean, if you babysit for a few hours, it's completely different than if you're having a baby who's going to be with you for the next 18 to 25 to 30, however long years, right? So, I mean, that's very minor, but babysitting somebody's kids may show you a different side of your partner. Also, just talk about whether y'all actually want kids. Do y'all want kids, or do y'all want to be parents? Because that is two different things. Like, I hear a lot of people who say, yeah, I want kids, but not a lot of people who say, I want to be a parent. And like I said, two different things. I also hear people who are entertaining other people, who are sleeping with other people that they know do not want kids, who know that in that time period, and I mean, not being careful either. I'm not calling nobody out. But if that is you, I strongly suggest that you do make some better decisions with love. I'm saying this with love, because if you don't want kids, or if he or she doesn't want children, and y'all accidentally procreate, then, you know, that can cause a lot of damage within the relationship as well. Ladies, if you are experiencing postpartum depression, or even before you have a baby, make sure you're talking to your doctor about the options for postpartum depression. I'm here to let you know it's okay to get on medication, okay? Don't let people down you and make you feel bad if you have to get on medication. It might not be, in a lot of times, it's not forever. It may be for a couple years, it may be for a few months, just to get your levels back to where they need to be, to where you can do the other things like working out, eating healthier, hanging out with friends, socializing, things like that. Because what people don't realize is, with depression, it makes you not want to do anything. And so when people say, oh, well, working out is a great way for you to alleviate depression, or hanging out with friends, or, you know, taking a shower, or cleaning, or whatever, are great ways for you to do that. People don't realize that when you feel depressed, you can't even do that. You physically, mentally can't do it. So medication can help you to get to the point to where you are able to do it. As well as, of course, I'm going to recommend you go to therapy. I'm recommend that you, just like I encourage people to do premarital therapy, I encourage you to do pre-baby therapy. Okay, so go to the therapist and y'all work out some of the issues that y'all are having within your relationship. Please do not think that a baby is going to strengthen it, because if anything, it's going to weaken it. Once again, it's two people whose focus have been on each other now are having to focus on a third party that is not able to contribute anything to the relationship, to the marriage, to the relationship. So please just, go to therapy. If you need to get on medication, get on medication. Husbands, boyfriends, whoever, make sure that you are finding ways to support your woman. I know you probably feel stressed as well, and I know it probably feels like, well, women don't ever support us as dads. I get that. Motherhood, like I said, can be a joyous experience, but I feel like more often than we talk about, it's not a joyous experience. You're dealing with hormones, you're dealing with the weight gain, you're dealing with, having to get up in the morning. Like, you're dealing with so much, and especially those who are working as well, you're dealing with so much. Sometimes we just want support from our partner. So please, in whatever way, even if you like, when I signed up for this marriage, I didn't sign up to take on these extra roles. We agreed that you were gonna cook or you were gonna clean or whatever the case may be. She's adding something else to her job description. Please take something off her plate. Make sure y'all have open communication. If you're feeling bad, or if you're feeling like your partner is not doing enough, make sure that you step up and say something, okay? Husbands, or once again, boyfriends, if y'all are feeling left out because you're not having sex, I really want you to think about the fact that, like, I want you to actually, don't even take what I'm about to say. I want you to go look up. Maybe you have seen a birth happen before, maybe not. I want you to look at first of all, go get a ruler and look at 10 centimeters, okay? Look at the average size of a baby's head, shoulders, okay? Watch a natural birth. You can watch a birth with epidural. Watch whatever. Watch a birth happen. And then I want you to, like, really research what happens to the body, not just the vagina, the whole body, and how that has to recover. Like, I want you to really do some deep diving into what the postpartum, what that looks like, that healing process looks like. And please understand that it's a lot more than, we just don't want to, like, I just don't want to have sex with you anymore. Like, it's just a lot going on. The hormonal aspect of it, as well as the physical aspect of it. Please just be a little bit more considerate of what your wife is going through, and understand that things can go back to normal. Or, because no longer is it 2, it's now 3 or 4, 5, however many kids you're having, y'all have to create a new normal. So the same way that y'all used to do, these things before the baby, y'all are gonna have to create a new routine. Y'all are gonna have to create new date nights, new ways to be intimate, and that's okay too. Once again, I'm Asia from the Relationship Refinery, here to help you learn to refine as well as redefine the way that you view relationships. If anything that I said did not make sense, please make sure you leave your questions in the comment section. Man, there's no such thing as a dumb question, because I know that the U.S. education system does a terrible job of making sure that you understand that not even just you, there are a lot of women who don't understand anatomy, who don't understand childbirth, and who don't understand hormones and the way the brain works and stuff like that. If there's something I can clarify, please let me know. Once again, for any Halle Bailey, DDG fans, I'm not saying that this is the reason why they broke up. I don't know. Like I said, I do not know these people. I don't listen to their music, not because I don't think they're good. I just don't listen to their music. So I can't speak to why they. But if you're seeing your homeboys or people in your family or other celebrities who are also going through something similar, these are some reasons why potentially they have broken up after a baby. It's not as glamorous as it may seem. And for any mothers, I'm speaking from a therapeutic perspective, but any mothers who have actually gone through something like this, or even any fathers who can speak from a male perspective on these things, please make sure you leave those comments in the comment section as well. Until next time.